Hi, my name is Sam Led, and welcome to The Fearless Now. This is for you, and you in the nosebleed seats if you're looking for an easier way to approach anxiety, stress, and unhealthy habits from the inside out. There's no techniques and no strategies, so sit back, relax, and let me be your peace of mind Uber driver here on The Fearless Now. Welcome to The Fearless Now. My name is Sam Led. I'm a transformational coach, and this is episode number 15. And I'm calling this episode the Low Mood Shuffle because we tend to, I do it all the time. I wanted to share with you this morning, waking up for no reason, feeling just crappy, feeling filled with anxiety. And I just saw my mind doing some funny mental gymnastics on its own. I wasn't in control of those gymnastics. So this episode's called That Low Mood Shuffle. Something that we all experience, but we don't all have to grab onto it. And especially during the most difficult times, our mind will do it and we believe it more. Even during good times, when we're wealthy and we're healthy and we're in love and everything is going well for us, where our mind can still go into that dark place for no reason. Our mind can still grab onto some old anxious programs that we don't know why. It just happens that way. That's a great indicator of this inside out understanding is that spiritual truth that we just have thought and thinking, thankfully, moving through us. And a lot of that thought, a lot of that thinking, we don't really have any control over. It's just moving through us. The mind is a very brilliant, but really complicated and zany kind of kooky apparatus that is helping us inform us of what's going on outside of us. But it's also a computer that's making lots of errors and is buggy. Before I go into my story about waking up and just feeling anxious in a low mood, I want to take you to a place that's filled with well-being. It's a beautiful frequency, a place where we should be hanging out as human beings. And when we look into the direction of presence, of the moment, we see all the people in our lives as love, as kind, as loving us. We see ourselves as filled with love and well-being, even if we're financially not okay, or even if we are health-wise not okay. It's all the crap being made up in the moment by our mind that's filling in the blanks, trying to keep us safe. But the funny thing is as brilliant as our supercomputer is, it's pretty stupid when it comes to thinking that thought is going to keep us safe. Thinking is going to keep us safe. But when we see that that our world is from the inside out and not outside in, it starts to make sense that when we shuffle into that low mood, we realize, okay, where am I in that continuum of consciousness in this moment? If I'm working from a lower level of consciousness and it vacillates, we graduate to newer levels of consciousness, thankfully and hopefully, as we begin to see how our mind works and how things work when it comes to how we feel and that barometer of feeling that when we are anxious or we are scared and there's no saber-toothed tiger running after us, no one with a knife running after us, we realize, oh, we're just caught up and it's not time to grab onto those thoughts and take them personally. Like when other people are coming at us with angry or venomous words, that's the time to really see it as they are just suffering in whatever ocean of heavy and dark thought that is moving through them in a very temporary way, that within an hour or less, they will be back to their calm and happy, maybe not happy, but they'll be back in calm again. And they'll see kind of, oh, wow, I'm just caught up. So this morning I woke up anxious and I really woke up in a dark space. When I woke up, and all of us wake up in the morning, some of us wake up tired, some of us wake up completely refreshed and ready to take on the day. And then some days we wake up on the wrong side of the bed and we don't know why. And in the past, before I was introduced to this inside-out understanding of the three principles discovered by that brilliant Scottish mystic, Sid Banks, who really saw his thinking as not who he is, before I would blame it on, okay, I see all the things going on in my world that are not going the way I want them to go, or I'm heartbroken, I'm sad, or someone made me feel this way because I'm alone, or I feel abandoned, or I would go to whatever floppy disk of thought was running, whatever program was running, pre-installed, whatever habitual old thought program, old story that was running in the background would hit play. I'd have to blame it. My mind would blame it on something. It would blame it on my lack of whatever. It doesn't even matter. But when I was introduced to this understanding and when I started sharing this understanding with my clients and my partner and I doing this understanding together and seeing really, oh yeah, who we are, our default setting, our true north, our divine gift is present, well, happy, calm, and in the moment. And then when I'm not in the moment, when I'm really feeling my thinking, when I am upstairs in this machinery called our brain, it's when I realize I've lost the plot. I am not Sam. I am fearful thinking Sam right now, but I'm not Sam. Who Sam is, just like who all of you are, is not the sum total of what's going on in your mind when you are throttled and heavy and anxious and uncomfortable, scared, momentary thinking, insecure thinking. I think that the cliff walk we take when we are really believing our heavy sped up thinking can be disastrous. We read in the news about postal shootings and about people that just, whatever crazy thought program is running through their mind. And we all have crazy thoughts. We all have dark thoughts, every single one of us, whether you're like Mother Teresa or you're a teacher or you're a doctor, whoever you are in this world, you all have, just like I do, dark thoughts moving through us that we have no ownership over. And once you see that, so getting back to my story, this one particular day when I woke up in a dark state of mind with the understanding of the principles, I had this 3 principles understanding. It's already loaded into my consciousness. It's kind of like the schematic drawing, the owner's manual of how to see what thinking is and how to see how my mind works has been already preloaded into my system. When I woke up this morning and just really feeling my thinking, what did I do? Alone in my bed in my apartment, I got up and I took a jog around the block. I drank some water. I ran in place for a little bit and I made a phone call, called my partner. And all of a sudden, I was back to being Sam again. I wasn't scared again. That thinking just moved through me. I was in the present moment. I didn't have to take ownership of any of that, just like you don't have to take ownership of any of your heavy thinking. It's uncomfortable. Sometimes it's really distracting to the point where the noise becomes so disruptive that we need some help. And that's okay too. But when you realize the mind just jumping around, that you're going to see all kinds of stuff with heavy thinking, but then you begin to see, oh, I can point and pivot to well-being when that thought storm moves through me, that I don't need to point or actually pick up any of that heavy thinking when I'm in it. I don't have to. It's like the mind becomes a sniper. It becomes a sniper mind when it's caught up in fear and uncertainty. We don't make our good decisions in life when we are caught up in our mind, when we're in our head, when we try to intellectualize, because intellectualization and intellectualizing the world of form, when we are in that space, doesn't really lead to really good solutions, or doesn't really lead to a creative next step. Or when we are thinking our thinking and hyper-focused, when we have to make a big decision, I would bet the farm that most of us, including me, I don't make great decisions when I'm really overthinking it, or I'm actually using my mind to really think it through. When I'm just in the present moment and just feeling good and seeing that feel-good feeling and tapping into that feel-good feeling without having to do anything, I'm at my best, just like all of you are. And when we are, like we all will experience again, waking up in the morning on the wrong side of the bed, when we can just see that as temporary, that it will move through us, that we will get back down to our default state automatically without having to really do anything. That's an incredible gift. That's being self-aware. That's having ownership of this very brilliant, but extremely unpredictable sometimes supercomputer that's going to make mistakes and glitch. But when you see those glitches as just glitches and nothing else, or if someone is insecure or caught up in their thinking and they're saying things to you that are out of alignment to how you see yourself, and if you know this person well, how they see themselves, you know they're just caught up. So the greatest litmus of all, just to see what I am pointing to that works, that the real change within you is actually seeing within you that you have this divine default setting, this incredible quiet moment that you drop into during the day, but you don't pay attention to enough because the thoughts are so loud. It's kind of like going to Vegas and being entranced by all the lights and the noise and slot machines. That's kind of how the noise in our head is sometimes. But when you see it as just blinking lights and noise or heavy thoughts, it's just like a Vegas casino that you don't have to go onto the gambling floor and spend all your money, that you can decide to just look at all the lights and all the noise as just lights and noise, that you can turn around and walk out of the casino of heavy thinking, then you've won the game. You've got in the game by seeing it. You get into the game of your life every day when you drop out of your thinking and into the present moment. Hope this has been helpful. This podcast, this program is made possible by all of you. I couldn't do these podcasts if I didn't have the support from all of you. So please tell your friends. If you think that you know someone who would really benefit from this podcast, please tell them so they can tell their friends and they can tell their friends. Tell them to like and subscribe. And if you haven't done already, please like and subscribe and comment on this podcast. This podcast is available on all major podcast platforms. Again, I love doing this for you. If I can get you back into that default state of yours, which is just feeling good, I've done my job. I'll see you again next week for episode number 16 on the Fearless Now.